to Doherty Ferry. Northbound coming up through Manchester Ladou's busy. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 70, we have an incident at the East Terminal of the airport. It's jammed approaching 170, and there's still slow traffic at a couple of spots. TR Hughes through K and Lake St. Louis out past 61. Next update at 5:20 from the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
It is a Tuesday edition of the Redbird Rush Hour. We're going to be with you a little shorter than normal today as we're leading you right into network coverage of the Cardinals and the Pirates, game number 2 of a 3-game series. Cardinals on a 3-game winning streak after winning yesterday. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. Thanks so much for being tuned in with us today. If you are watching on the stream, feel free to leave comments. You can also text in comments at 314-436-7900. Kevin, we're not in the same place, but good to see you nonetheless.
No, I'm in the man cave, and if people pay attention, you might see a little dog somewhere down in here walking around. I got my little doggies down here.
What's the dog's name?
Well, one of them is R2, so he's the robot from Star Wars. The other one is named Lucy. I had no part in that one.
All right. My dog growing up's name was Lucy. So that was
if you would have said R2, I'd have been like, no way. Yeah, they'll probably pass by here at some point.
Here's what we've got going on in the program today. So for those of you who don't know, Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol does a half hour on the Gas House Gang every Tuesday from 12 to 12:30. Fantastic. Yeah. There's not a thing better on St. Louis radio right now going than listening to Ollie talk through the decisions that he makes and taking questions and comments from the viewers and the listeners. It's really good, and I really appreciate Ollie.
Yeah, and you're not always going to agree.
Yeah.
We don't either, but like the understanding the man's thought process can take away a lot of the confusion that people seem to run into.
Right. So what we're going to do today, and we'll see if we do this on Tuesdays moving forward, we're going to take back cuts from his conversation that he has with Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman, and Bernie Miklasz. And Kevin, you and I are going to kind of give our take on what we are hearing from Ollie. Let's go ahead.
What are we going with today?
Yeah. We're going to start with this. At some point in the next day or two, the Cardinals are going to have a roster decision to make because Ivan Herrera is going to be back. And this is kind of a 2-part discussion. The first part is who goes down, because Joel Pozo, who's in the lineup tonight, has done a really, really good job for the Cardinals, both offensively and defensively, but he's been a bat that has played. And then when Herrera's back, what is his role going to be? So the first thing I want to go through, and we'll listen to Ollie right here, this is him talking about what the decision-making process is like for them as they try to figure out what it's going to look like when Herrera does come back.
We talked at length yesterday about, and we'll continue the conversation today. There's a couple different ways to look at it. And you just mentioned both of them. You can carry 3 catchers, or you can have Lucan go down, take a couple weeks of at bats to get his timing back, and then flip him. Then there's different ways of thinking about this one. We want to make sure Herrera just returns healthy first before having to commit to anything. He's rehabbing really well. Squatting, catching feels good. Swinging feels good. It's a matter of that running progression. At the moment, he feels like he's 80-90% with it. He is responding well the next day. There's some soreness, but nothing out of the norm. So he'll be in there the next couple of days, and we'll get a better gauge as to what that will look like moving forward.
Kevin, I've got a gut feeling that Pozo's sticking around and is going to be Lucan Baker who gets sent back down to, Ollie's the one who kind of presented that as the opportunity to get him back to Memphis and find his timing once again.
It's not a terrible idea. And in fact, it's such a not terrible idea. You and Bernie and I kicked that around on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. So when you think about it, Baker's not getting a lot of work. And he's done okay. He's got a pretty good on-base percentage. He's not hitting for power, though. And one of the reasons you want him is power. And he's also very limited defensively. So having a third catcher doesn't really limit you defensively anymore, because I'm sure Herrera can play first base. I haven't looked to see, and I'm going to actually do this right now while we're talking. I don't know if Pozo's played any first base or not in his minor league career. So I'm going to take a peek at that while we're talking. But I think that, when you're talking about bench versatility, it's usually something that I care quite a bit about. But in this case, I'm not, you're not giving away any versatility when it comes to the player you'd be sending down to go get some at bats. Now, what that does do, though, and obviously if Burleson as another first baseman and Donovan can play first base, but I'm talking about bringing guys off the bench to go into place. So, of course, we can always put Pauley at second, Matt.
Yeah, he looked fine there the first time.
No, let's not do that anymore. But the question would be then, who loses the at-bats to Herrera when he DHs? And obviously that's going to be either Burleson or Gorman. So you have the ability to flip that back and forth. Honestly, it could be Walker a little bit too. Because of the versatility of several of their starters, they can kind of play around with that. And with Pozo hitting and being a better defender than Herrera, and Pages being a better defender than them both, you could have the best defensive team out there at catcher and have your best bat in the lineup every day with Herrera catching a little bit and DHing when he's not.
Yeah, so let's hear the second part of that, because Ali did mention specifically, because everybody's brought it up, is Ivan Herrera's future not behind the plate? Is it at first base? Is it as the DH? And Ali presented what it would look like for them if Herrera did come back and mostly DH'd, at least at the beginning of his stint off the injured list.
It'll be a two-part. One, to get his bat in the lineup, but two, to also protect the progression of the knee. So depending on how he's responding once he gets here, you do have that option, which I don't mind at all. We would like to continue to develop the catching position to better evaluate at the end of the year what we have and what we don't have. So I think there has to be some run there, but that is an option, especially early on. That could be an option to make sure that knee's responding properly.
That all makes sense from Ali. And we did learn a couple days ago that Herrera felt a little bit of extra soreness after one of his games at Memphis. So they were going to slow play it just a bit more on his return to the big league club. But it does make, if you can get that bat back into the order and you can take the stress of catching off of Herrera, at least for a little while, that can help this team right now, Kevin.
And by the way, Pozo does have 82 appearances at first base in the minor leagues.
Okay.
So that gives you that flexibility off the bench, or if you need to move some things around specifically with guys not in the lineup, because with starting lineups, it's easy, but you want to have some kind of flexibility there. So he has experience there. And again, this can be just like we talked about with Ryan Fernandez or Chris Roycroft. Baker just sitting around, not getting a lot of reps. It's going to be hard for him to get better or to get his timing back. Go down for a few weeks, go down for a month, depending on how long it takes or when you're needed, and get every day at bats for 3 or 4 weeks, and then come back and you might be the better performer.
Absolutely. And Lauren basically says the exact same thing there. It makes sense. We've seen Luken Baker at his best. He's not at his best right now. It makes sense for him to maybe go down to Memphis, especially when you've got a guy like Joel Pozo, who is performing right now at the major league level.
And look, I mentioned this before, but this guy's a 322 hitter at the AAA level in his career. And it's in like 300 games. It's not a fluke. He's been able to hit at that level. I think he'll hit here too.
That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. Up next, we'll talk a little bit about the struggles of Jordan Walker. Should he be going to AAA Memphis, or is it best to keep him here in St. Louis? Marmol talked about that a little bit today. We'll hear from that coming up in just a moment or so. It's the Redbird Rush Hour here on KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they're just finally leaving the scene on westbound 44 at Southwest Avenue. This traffic reports the service of Siding Express, so all lanes are now open there, and they were clearing another one. I couldn't tell if it was a stall or a crash westbound 44 at Kings Highway. So 44 is still tough going right now. As a matter of fact, it's backed up westbound 44 at the Arch Grounds and stop-and-go pockets all the way out through Southwest Avenue. Folks on 55 are in about the same boat from 44 all the way down to Bates. It's bumper to bumper. Westbound 64 Grand out through Clayton Skinker's backed up. It's slow from 170 most of the way to Ballas, and then in St. Charles County from K to Winghaven and 364 out to 70. So it's a ton of volume. Southbound 170 bogs down at Olive. If you're on westbound 70, slow stuff Riverview Jennings Station, a couple of pockets past the airport to the Blanchette Bridge. Again, 79 to K, Lake St. Louis out to 61. South 270 still on the break. South of Page to Ladue. Busy down through Manchester. After that, it's not so bad. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardy Siding at Siding Express. We specialize in James Hardy Siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. Next update at 5:30 from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
The U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America is bringing free concerts to the metro area May 16th through the 19th. These family-friendly concerts will feature American airmen performing solos, duets, and small ensembles, showcasing patriotic music, classical selections, pop tunes, and more. Come see the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America May 16th through the 19th. Get free tickets and locations at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
All right, guys, Kevin Wheeler here for Game Day Men's Health. You'll find him at gamedaymenshealth.com. And I'll say I've been getting the treatments there. I get the testosterone replacement therapy. When I went in for my initial consultation, they took my blood and they did some tests. And like, you know what? Your numbers are low. That's probably why you feel the fatigue. It's probably why you're not recovering from workouts the way that you want to. And I decided to do something about it. I took up their advice. And by the way, everything at Game Day Men's Health is run by medical professionals. These are people that work in the medical field, overseen by board certified physicians. So it's all straight up. You know exactly what you're getting into. And it works, man. I can tell you, in the amount of time I've been doing this, about almost now 3 months, it's fully kicked in. I don't have as many ups and downs during the week, even though my time is busy now with baseball season and my coaching schedule kicking in. I don't have the dead legs. I don't walk around just like, I feel good, man. I feel like I did like 7 or 8 years ago, which is kind of nice because that's a long time ago. So check it out. It's gamedaymenshealth.com. You've got locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. And, of course, if you go to gamedaymenshealth.com, you can get yourself headed in the right direction and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
The Redbird Rush Hour does continue on. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. We're taking you right up to Cardinals pregame and going through a lot of what Oliver Marmol said today on Gas House Gang and responding to it. And right on cue, Walt said, any chance that Oliver Marmol is sending Mo a hint that Walker needs to go to AAA by reducing his starts? Well, Kevin, we got somewhat of the answer to that exact question today. Here is Ollie on where Jordan Walker is at right now and why he's still in St. Louis.
I like having Jordan here for the time being for a lot of reasons, just being around our staff, being with Brownie, being with John Jay. This is going to help him. Different than the Fernandez move, different than the way you would look at a couple of these things. He's in a good spot mentally. Performance hasn't been there. That's clear. But his work prior to the game is really, really good. And that's not just on the defense side, it's on the offense side. And the work that he's put in with Brownie and BA and packing that group is exactly what you would want. It has not transferred over to the game just yet, but I think having him around this group for the time being makes a lot of sense. And having him work through it. And mentally, he's not beating himself up. He's not defeated. He's in a good spot. He's coming in every day. He's refreshed and looking forward to putting in the work and then carrying out into the game. It just hasn't happened for him. But when it gets to the point where we feel like he can't handle the pressure or he's coming in and he's defeated and not, gosh, he needs a break, then that's different. But we're nowhere close to that at the moment.
So that's the answer. And it sounds like to me, Kevin, he wants Jordan still in St. Louis.
Yeah, and, I think we have to go through a couple things with Walker. One, I don't think he's going to learn how to hit major league pitching by facing AAA pitching. I mean, because AAA pitchers make enough mistakes where he can get by on that, and then when you get to the big leagues, they don't make as many mistakes. That's the part that he's trying to figure out. It's just pitch selection. It's nothing else. I mean, it really is about learning how to lay off the ones you can't handle and get pitches up in the zone that you can drive up into the air. And I don't think he's going to be able to get the major league version of that at AAA. And the other part of this is, when you're talking about, this kind of situation, he may just be a slow starter. How many guys in the big leagues have that reputation for being slow starters where they're not as good in the early months? He's a Georgia kid. Honest to God, I don't think it's the weather, but I think there are guys that are just slow starters and they pick it up as the season goes along. And I don't want to keep playing this yo-yo game with him because with the relievers, they're going to go down and they're going to come back pretty soon. And their tasks are pretty simple to work on. And it's controlling their stuff. It's not reacting to anybody else. What Walker's working on is reacting to big league pitching.
It's bad for him though right now. I mean, his recent
awful.
numbers are terrible. His even overall,
Yeah.
he's a 198 hitter with a 535 OPS. And we've seen them do this before where they take him out for a few days from to work on stuff and then they put him back in. I don't think you can keep doing this. I don't think you can every week not play him for 2 or 3 days so he can work on things and then you put him in to see if it works. Like, this is something you can do every once in a while.
I don't know, man. If you're not going to look at it that way, you can also find, to build some confidence and get him some work, is find good matchups for him and keep him away from guys like Paul Skeens.
Well, he's in the lineup tonight. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. I'm Matt Pauley. You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. Buying your brand new Buick or GMC has never been easier. Here at Suntrup Buick GMC, our family-owned and operated dealership has been proudly servicing St. Charles County for over 30 years by always providing aggressive pricing, a massive inventory selection, and exceptional customer service. Buying from Suntrup means you get the best vehicle at the best price. Visit Suntrup Buick GMC today or visit us online at suntrupbuickgmc.com and save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had heard about 3-day kitchen and bath. I kind of always dismissed it thinking, well, nobody can do that in 3 days. I wanted somebody who was going to come when they said they would come and, do what they said they were going to do. What I liked best was having it done in, less than a week. The whole thing from top to bottom. Nobody could believe that I really had it done that fast. They absolutely held up to every single thing that they agreed to. I especially loved the fact that I didn't have to go out all over town. The overall quality was very good. All the workmanship was so excellent. They'll definitely do exactly what they say they're going to do. There's no surprises, no added costs later. They stay until everything's exactly the way you want it, and you're done.
Thanks, Lori. Check us out online at 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, still have our backed up traffic downtown, eastbound 5570, jam 203 past 111, southbound 255 just slow midway down from 270 to 162, so that's better. Westbound 70, slow stretches running from Kings Highway through Jennings Station, 170 through Cypress, 270 to the Blanchette Bridge, 79 through K, and Lake St. Louis out past 61, southbound 170, bogs down just south of Olive all the way to 64. South 270 is busy. South of Page all the way down through 64 to Manchester. North 270 is bogged down at Manchester. We have a crash in the left lane close to the Clayton Road overpass. Westbound 64 from Grand all the way out to Big Bend is slow. And then in St. Charles County, west of K to Winghaven and 364 to 70 busy. Westbound 44 is doing better, but it's still bogged down from Jefferson, really jammed west of Jefferson to about Kings Highway, slow to southwest from the earlier crash. Southbound 55, 44 down through Bates is bumper to bumper, and westbound 44 still backed up downtown past the Poplar as well. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
At 5:31, we've got some clouds and 70 downtown at the Arch. A fatal Kansas highway crash impacts a Chesterfield family.
2 teenage basketball players, a coach, and a trainer from the Tulsa, Oklahoma area were among the 8 people killed in a fiery head-on highway crash in eastern Kansas. Authorities said other victims in Sunday's crash on US 169 included 3 members of a St. Louis area family. The Kansas Highway Patrol says the crash happened when an SUV carrying the basketball players and driven by the trainer collided with a sedan with the 3 St. Louis area family members as passengers. Tulsa Mayor Monroe Nichols offered his condolences to the victims.
I'll do anything those families, those young people, those schools, those parents need. All of our hearts are broken for them. And I think Tulsa does a great job of rallying around people who need us.
A 3rd teenager from the Tulsa area survived and was hospitalized. Audio courtesy of KTUL. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Well, the Catholic Church's College of Cardinals gets ready to pick a new pope beginning tomorrow. What did U.S. Catholics think of the late Pope Francis?
The latest Pew Research Center survey conducted just before Pope Francis went into the hospital in February found 78% of U.S. Catholics viewed the Pope favorably. Compare that to the 74% who viewed Pope Benedict XVI favorably at the time of his resignation in 2013. And Pope John Paul II's huge favorability rating of 93% among U.S. Catholics. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The Scripps National Spelling Bee is changing a rule this year.
Your first word is Brouette.
BROUE. There will no longer be a lightning round spell off if time is running out.
Hypercheme.
HYPORCHEME.
That's
when the final 2 get 90 seconds to spell as many words correctly as they can. 2 of the last 3 Bs ended with the controversial tiebreaker, which has been heavily criticized. Instead, judges will now be allowed to keep on going, even if it means going over time.
Bruhat Soama, you are the 2020.
This year's B begins May 27th. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Clouds tonight, 54. Clouds tomorrow, 71. Right now, we've got 70 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're your neighbors, your friends, your support system. From your first visit, you'll experience expert care backed by the strength of our entire health network. At HSHS, we put your health first, with medical expertise and kindness that makes you feel valued at every step. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring to learn more.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
For the best selection and prices, become a Muni subscriber. You can see all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. Great seats are going fast. You pick your night, your price range, and your seat. Single performance tickets, those are on sale May 19th. Single tickets start at just $21. Buy now, muni.org. Call 314-361-1900 or visit the box office in Forest Park.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Cardinals Pirates game 2 of a 3-game series tonight. We're leading you right into official network coverage. This is the Redbird Rush Hour. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. We are replaying parts of what Oliver Marmol said today on the Gas House Gang, and then we are reacting to it. Let's jump right into this because
here's my reaction.
That's a good reaction. That's a really good reaction, Kevin. This is maybe the thing we talked about most yesterday. Let's get Ollie's response to Should have the Cardinals sent Andre Palante down and left Michael McGreevy up?
It is an option. I don't think we're there yet. When we did it last year, there's a combination of things that needed to take place. He didn't have anything coming into the righty, and that's where he went down and really wanted to work on the sinker, but being able to repeat it and do what he wanted with that pitch in order to get righties off of just leaning over the plate and taking everything the other way. And then mentally, he had some work to do from just a handling adversity standpoint. And we were in a much, much better spot with both of those things. So now when you talk about taking your lumps up here and learning on the job, I think he's in a perfect spot to do that at the moment. Is it going to look great? Or is it going to feel great every time out? No. But mentally, he's in a good spot, and he knows exactly what he's trying to do. And we need to allow him a little bit of time to be able to do that. Now, let me be very clear. Do I want to see McGreevy up here? I love the dude. Like, I absolutely love this kid for a lot of reasons. Away from the field, I love him. And him doing his job, like every opportunity we've given him, he showed exactly what he's capable of doing, and him being deserving of being here. His best trait, and why I absolutely love this kid, is he doesn't scare. Like, regardless of the situation, you bring him in bases loaded. That's not something he normally would have to do. And he doesn't make the moment any bigger than it is. And he did a phenomenal job. So do I want him up here? The answer is yes. Will he be up here at some point and never look back? I truly believe so. But regarding Palante, I think we need to give him a little bit of time to work through some of these adjustments at the big league level, and then make a better assessment of him.
That was a lot from Ollie.
Yeah.
Kevin, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's fine, I guess. I mean, like, it's not a critical, like, do or die issue at the moment. But as I said, I texted this to you last night, and actually we talked about it a little bit last night off the record, off the air. But I said it, so it's okay. I think we got to get a little more consistent with what we're deciding to do. If it's about trying to win games, then you got to do the best thing you can to win games. If one guy's out pitching another, that guy needs to pitch more than the other. And if you're trying to just give runway, well, then all right, then we're not taking Walker out of the lineup ever. And you know what I mean? Like, I think Palante has to perform. Now, is it the end of the world? No, but he's got a fielding independent ERA of 5.40. You know, his all of his batted ball numbers suggest he's actually been lucky to have the numbers that he does have. And I'm not saying we have to banish him, but it's, again, the same idea as Fernandez and Roycroft. And I guess I think this is a relatively minor critique of the team, and I think it's true of other major league teams too. They always make these moves a little later than they should. You always let it go a little further than it needs to. And again, it's a common thing in Major League Baseball, and I understand it because players that are on the team have earned a spot there some way, somehow, and they don't want to give up on that as early as we are in the season, May 6th. I get it, but the rope can't be too long, right? I mean, he's got to start showing something in the next week or two, because otherwise you got a guy who every time you've given him a chance has come up and done the job.
I think the rope is 2 starts at this point. I think 2 more tough starts from Palante, and I think they make the switch.
And by the way, my stance on this is the same for Steven Matz and Miles Michaelis. Why is the guy pitching better going to the bullpen all the time? Matz is wildly out pitching Miles Michaelis.
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit in a kind of roundabout way up in just a moment. We're going to pause 1 minute for traffic, and then we'll be back to talk about a part of the Cardinals season that has already gone away. I'll explain in a moment. It's the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report's a service of Main Street Sports Group. Still slow going westbound 70 Kings Highway out through Jennings Station. After that, the heaviest slowdown is from A to Z out in the Wentzville area. South 270 bogged down north of Olive through 64. North 270 south of Manchester, most of the way to 64. We had a minor crash before Clayton Road in the left lane. Southbound 170 still pretty heavy at Delmar. Eastbound 64, McKnight through Hanley slow. Westbound 64 west of Grand through McCausland still busy, not jammed. And it's slow from 364 out to 70. Westbound 44. Let's call it Grand through Kings Highway, and from about Jameson all the way out to almost Elm, slow from an earlier crash. Southbound 55, 44 down to Bates is backed up. On the Illinois side, we still have a roadwork jam. Eastbound 55, 70, 203 past 111, and southbound 255 still slow midway from 270 down to 162. Cardinals fans, this season you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to subscribe. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 1041 KMOX.
Just a couple minutes left in this edition. We've got Cardinals baseball. Our broadcast begins in less than 10 minutes. That's Kevin Wheeler. I'm Matt Pauley. Kevin, let's hear about today's Game Day Men's Health peak performer.
Yeah, peak performer. Look, we're going Victor Scott. Not only is he one of the top players in the National League this year when it comes to all-around play, wins above replacement. We talked about this the other day. He's in the top 10 in the National League on the season. But he's hot lately, too. He's hitting 400 over the last 7 days, got a home run in there. He's got a stolen home run in there, a couple of steals, a couple of walks. He's doing it. 1,000 OPS in the last week. So Victor Scott is our Game Day Men's Performance peak performer. So you can go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com to get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
All right, last thing from Ollie. Sounds like the six-man rotation might be a thing of the past.
The main purpose for that six-man was health. And when you look at the list of injuries throughout the league, thank God we've been on the good side of this. And the scheduling has allowed for that with Matt's being open-minded to jumping in the rotation and then coming out of reliefs. Because I mean, we haven't had any injuries up to this point from a pitching standpoint, and the league has been devastated by a lot of different injuries. So the six-man definitely helped Sonny and Fetty and Miles and Palante and Libby and those guys feel good, have that extra day and stay healthy. When you look at May, we have almost every Thursday off, which allows you to stick to that five-man. And the only way you would insert a Mats or do the six-man is either you need to buy somebody a day, or strategically you just want him against a left-handed heavy lineup where it makes sense. But as of right now, we're going to stick to that five-man with all the off days in May.
There it is, Kevin. Say goodbye to the six-man rotation, at least for the time being.
It's fine. Under these circumstances, totally fine. And what I want to see is this. If we're picking a guy to go into long relief, then it should be Miles and not Mats. But you and I have talked about this.
Yeah, we disagree.
I think Mats as a late inning leverage guy is important for this team right now.
And I
also they need another guy they can trust from the 6th and 7th inning on. And if we're going to keep him lengthened out, we're just going to keep that. We're going to stay short at the back end of the pen.
We'll talk more about this tomorrow when we have more time. But I just think from a team perspective, Michaelis in the bullpen doesn't make you better.
No, he's just your innings guy when you're just somebody that got to go out there when things go bad.
I think
Mats can be a leverage guy if you use him right.
Yeah, again, lots more time tomorrow. We're short today because of Cardinals baseball. We definitely disagree on this a little bit. I would not put Michaelis in the bullpen.
We can fight tomorrow. That'll be fun.
No scenario in the world where I want Miles Michaelis in the Cardinals bullpen. Kevin, great stuff as always this hour. 45 minutes today goes by super fast. We'll be back together at 5 o'clock for a full hour. Up next, it is the Cardinals and the Pirates. Our coverage begins in about 5 minutes right here on your home for the Cardinals, KMOX.
Manor Grove has been caring for seniors for over a century. Everyone at Manor Grove is treated like family, and that's exactly how our residents should feel.